Alafia M&M Squad, peace. It's your girl Tay, and I'm back with another Instacart update. So, first of all, you guys, I want to say congratulations to me, congratulations to us. I just reached my first 100 subscribers. I have been working my butt off on this channel, and for those of you who don't have YouTube channels, who don't know, it's really not as simple as people make it seem. There's a lot going into it. There's a lot of time management that goes into it. Sure, anybody can just pick up a camera and shoot and record, but the editing that goes into it, I know myself personally, when I first started, even though I'm still using the camera on my phone, because I just so happen to think it's got good quality, I have another camera, but until I can find a great editing software that I'm comfortable with, I'm gonna stick with this, because the point right now is for me to get my videos out there. So I'm not gonna stop just because of little technical stuff like that. But anyways, I know when I first started, I didn't do a whole lot of editing. I wasn't adding a whole lot of anything. And now, as I become more and more comfortable with the editing process, I'm starting to experiment and add a little bit more, you know, little things that pop up here and there. So I'm definitely glad. I'm definitely grateful, because you can't have a channel if you don't have anybody to watch you. And if you guys who've been with me since the beginning know that when I first started, I was starting off in the wrong direction, in my opinion. I was getting ready to start trying to give away prizes like $50 and $100 and this and that, and I was like, wait a minute, no. You know what I mean? I know some channels do that where they offer gifts and stuff, but I said, you know, I want my subscribers to be genuine. I want them to be here because they genuinely come here to see me and watch me, and they enjoy my content, not because I'm offering them, you know, some cash or something like that. Because when the day comes, or when the time comes when I stop doing that, or when I don't want to do that, or whatever the reason may be, because nobody's giving away cash prizes and all that all the time. So when that happens, like, are they going to unsubscribe from my channel? You know what I mean? So I wanted to grow my channel organically. I still want to grow my channel organically. So once my subscriber base gets much bigger, of course I'll start doing giveaways and things of that nature, because that's just the type of person that I am in person. But for now, my focus is connecting with my subscribers and really truly growing my genuine subscriber base. So enough about that. Like I said, congratulations to me, you, all of us. So I wanted to speak on something that I read in the news yesterday, in this Instacart. So I was Googling, I think, an article for a homework assignment that I had to do. And on the Google homepage, there was a, what was it? On the Google homepage, there was a, hold on, I got a text message. Let me read it real quick. Sorry about that. That was my significant other sending me messages. It was just popping up on my screen asking me to get him $3 of donuts. Okay, so anyways, what was I about to say? Yeah, so I saw this article on the Google homepage that said, what did it say? It said that Instacart drivers are upset because they basically feel like they're being bullied into accepting low ball offers. And I wanted to ask you guys what you felt about that. They gave a pretty detailed explanation of what happens, and this is something that if you're already an Instacart shopper, you're already going to know what I'm talking about, because you've already experienced it. I've experienced it. So what happens is, let's say they get a $7 order, right? And they decide, I don't want to take it. It's too small, you know, $7, there's no tip. Maybe it's 15, 16 items, but for whatever the reason is, they're like, I don't want to take it. So they decide to just let it wind down. One of the first complaints that they said, or that they had, was that there's no decline button. You basically have to sit there, let your phone ping, making this noise for 4 minutes, which I have to admit, you guys, that does annoy me. It was happening to me yesterday, because I was scheduled 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. and there was an offer that I didn't want to take, and I'm going to talk to you guys about why in a minute. So it does do that little boom, boom, that little noise. Oh my God, I can't stand it. And I was actually watching YouTube, or having YouTube play in the background while I was driving, and it completely stopped my video. So that was irritating me. Okay, but getting back to the point of this video. So that was one of the complaints, that there's no decline button, which you guys already know. You just have to let it wind down, and it's making this noise for 3 to 4 minutes. They give you about, I want to say 3.5 minutes or 4 minutes to accept the order, right? So then once you've allowed the timer to run down all the way, then a message will pop up asking you why you decided not to accept that batch. And the choices are, I'm going off the top of my head, batch was too large, batch was too small, batch is in an unfavorable location. Of course, you can select other, and I think there's one more option, but I can't remember. So I believe one of the Instacart shoppers said that, I don't know if it's based by region, the options that you get to explain why you didn't choose the batch, but this particular person said that all they had was batch was too small or batch was too large. So I don't know if they had another option. So for them, it was just like, well, if I'm having car issues, if my car is broke down, I don't have the option, I can't click other to give an explanation as to why I didn't accept that batch. So that was frustrating to them. Another thing is that let's say you do let the timer run out for the same batch. 9 times out of 10, 2 minutes later, you will receive that same batch again. And that's what they mean by bullying. Now, here's my thing on it. Here's my thoughts on this. Like I said, if you're already an Instacart shopper, whether you're mature or whether you're just starting out, you already know that this has happened if you have decided to decline a batch. It will ping for the amount of time that the timer is running, and then 9 times out of 10, if you are the only driver that's available, they will send it to you again. Now, here's my issue with that. My issue is with all this talk of what's in the contract that you signed between yourself and Instacart, it clearly states that you do not have to accept there's no certain amount of offers that you have to accept, right? There's no certain amount of hours that you have to accept during your shift. However, I find it very strange that if that is the case, that's what's written in the actual contract, that you would get dinged or penalized for not accepting an order. That doesn't make any sense to me. That's kind of a contradiction, and I think that they need to look into that, because how can you say that there's no minimum amount, or that we're not obligated to accept batches if we don't want to during a shift, but then at the same time they'll ding you, they'll give you a reliability incident, or they're in your shift. So let me give you an example. Yesterday I had scheduled myself 5 to 7. Now, I got an order like that. It was $7. It was like 11 or so items, 15 units, something like that. No tip. I opted not to accept it. The reason why is because for me, it takes an hour to complete the whole process of shopping and delivering. Even if it's 3 miles away, you cannot account for the time that you're going to spend in the store actually waiting to be checked out. And some stores don't have a self-checkout option. So even though you may be quick, and let's say you get your shop done in under 10 minutes, you still have to wait in line. Then you still have to travel. Then you still have to unload the groceries when you get there. You know what I mean? So this does take some time. So for me, with only 2 hours, this is just my thinking. You guys don't have to, you know what I mean, agree or even, I do want you to understand though. But this is my thinking. I was only scheduled 2 hours. I was already in the process of trying to complete a Quest promotion for Ubereats and was making more money with them. I've only made $5 with Instacart this whole week. It's been really, really slow, and they haven't really sent me much of anything. And if anything, it's been lowball orders like that. So if I only have 2 hours to work for Instacart, and I know that it's going to take me some time to actually get these orders out and delivered, then I want to make the most of that time. So I would have rather gotten an order that was at least $15 and up, you know what I mean, to account for that 1 hour, versus me taking an order that's $7 when I can continue delivering for Ubereats or Doordash and get an order that's $7. It's not going to take me an hour to deliver it and then move on to the next one and make my $15 for that hour or even more, if that makes any sense. And I've mentioned this before in another video. So I didn't accept it. I let the timer run out, and then just like these other Instacart shoppers have complained, it started back up again. same order. I didn't accept it. Now, I've mentioned to you guys that when it comes to your acceptance rating, it only counts against you the first time. It doesn't count against you the second time, only the first time. So after you've already not allowed yourself to accept this batch, then it will only count against you that first time. So even if they sent it to you 3 more times, they still will only count it that one time. However, they sent me another batch. Same thing, small batch. I think it was a $2 tip, but it was $11 for more items. Again, it's gonna take me an hour. 11 items is not $11 is not worth it for me. So I decided to let the timer run out again. Now, after letting the timer run out again for this one, and they did send it to me twice. After letting the timer run out for this one, they decided to end my hours early and say, we've sent you 2 orders. You did not accept them. If you want to continue shopping, you must basically chime in or whatever and say that you're ready to shop, which I did because I did not want to receive a reliability incident. And I knew that if I had left it and just let it go, they probably would have given me a reliability incident. So I got up this morning and I decided to read a little bit more about reliability incidents for full service shoppers. And I'm going to put a picture of what I'm talking about on the screen, or try to, but all this information can be found in the Shopper Help Center of your app. So all you got to do is go to Shopper Help Center. It's going to pull up a page. It's going to have 2 options of quick FAQs that you can look up by just clicking, or you can go to the search bar and just type in what you want to look up. I typed in a reliability incident. It gives you 2 options: reliability for FSS, which is full service shopper, and reliability for ISS, which is in-store shopper. So of course, I clicked on reliability for FSS and started reading on it. Now, in this, it doesn't say anything about, the only thing that was important to me in this is that when you receive reliability incidents, you know that you can receive up to 5 in 30 days. Once you receive 5, then they will email you, they will review your account and see if they want to deactivate you or basically send you further instructions. But another thing that they can also do is remove your access. Right now, you have either regular access or early access, but there's another one that's called day before access. So you may be dropped to day before access if you start to build up so many reliability incidents. And the only reason why I am even speaking on this is because this is a very easy way to get reliability incidents. If a person is saying, you know what, I don't want to take this $7 order, and you keep sending it to them, and then you go and you send them another order that's $5, and they say, I don't want to take that either because it's too small, then you can get a reliability incident, because in their eyes, you're not reliable during your shift. You're not accepting any any orders, any batches during your shift, which makes you reliable for the fact that this customer's order may be late. Now, again, my problem with this is the fact that in the contract, it clearly states that you are not obligated to accept a certain amount of orders during your shift. It says that. I feel like in some way, shape, or form, a lot of these gig economy platforms are trying to treat us as employees, but give us a sense that we have say-so in what's going on, if that makes any sense. So they're making us sign an agreement that states that we are independent contractors. We get to choose when and how long we work and this and that and the third. But then again, there's all these rules and restrictions that to me only should apply when you're an employee. If you're giving me an hourly rate and say, hey, I'm going to give you this hourly rate, but you got to show up at this time and perform as expected, then that's something completely different. If you're calling off every day or every other day, every Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you sick, yeah, I completely understand them giving you first warning, second warning, third warning, and eventually, 3 strikes you out. But this is not that type of situation. When a person is on shift and they're ready to accept batches, you know what I mean? like I said, Instacart still doesn't, I don't know if they understand or if it doesn't matter. At the end of the day, it's a business, and I do get that aspect too. It's a business, so they're going to run it according to what's best for the business, not necessarily for the people who are using the platform as a means to make money. They're going to run it as a business. So all the other variables that we may think are important as independent contractors may not be as important to Instacart, because it's not helping them financially in the long run. It's probably costing them more money to take into consideration all of the concepts and ideals that we have about how the business should be run. So, like I said, I found it to be a little frustrating. I was scheduled yesterday 5 to 7. And as I stated, the only reason why I did not accept this order was because I only have 2 hours that I'm working. Those 2 hours, it has to be worth it. Now, if I'm working, of course, like a 7-hour shift, if I'm on schedule for Instacart for 7 hours, it's something completely different, because, you know, it's going to accumulate. So I don't cherry pick or I'm not as choosy about what I'm accepting. However, when, you know what I mean, at the same time, I was doing Ubereats yesterday, and I did not want to be stopping Ubereats, turning off the Ubereats app, which you can without a penalty. There's no problem with that. But sometimes when you stop the Ubereats app and then you try to get back on, the algorithm of the app, it takes a while to send you orders, or if there's other Uber Eats drivers that may have clicked on since you clicked off, then you're just kind of sitting around and waiting. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the algorithm of these platforms is very, 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 very tricky. It's like you got to kind of find loopholes and get in when you can. Otherwise, you miss your opportunity to get orders. Because I've noticed with Uber Eats, I know this is going off subject, I noticed with Uber Eats, I've done lunch rushes before, worked the lunch shift before, and I will start between 11 and 11:30. And the orders may sometimes be popping, and then sometimes it may not. But as of lately, and it could be a summertime thing too, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I'm the know-it-all, because I'm definitely not. You know what I mean? I'm just speaking again from my experience before somebody try to come for me in the comments and try to be a smart butt. You know what I mean? No, I'm just giving my experience. And my experience when I started before with Uber Eats from 11 to 11:30, sometimes it may be popping, sometimes it's not. But I know as of lately, if I start before 11 o'clock, it's almost like I got in just before everybody else tries to click in, is my thinking, to start working. So I'm constantly moving. You know what I mean? But back to Instacart, I feel like there is a loophole that I'm still trying to figure out, basically. And, you know, like I mentioned in my video yesterday, I was watching another YouTuber who was talking about her experience, and she was saying that she and her daughter are Instacarting in the same zone, and that her daughter was receiving notifications and she wasn't, and they're in the same exact place. And so for me, it's like, I know there's been some days where I've received orders that have been as high as $60 something from the on-demand, and then there are some days where I don't, like yesterday, where there's nothing coming through. There are a lot of variables in that, though. It could be that it's just not busy. It could be that no one is ordering that much. There are a lot of things I know that also could be affecting this, but it's just, I wish that Instacart would show a little bit more consistency. And definitely with something like this, I don't think we should be receiving reliability incidents because we choose not to accept a lowball order. And I do think that that's kind of bullying. You guys let me know what you think down below in the comment section. I'm getting ready to get me some gas and then go home so that I can start my day in a couple of hours. But I just wanted to chime in on that article and get you guys' thoughts and see how you feel about that. Do you think that it's considered bullying? Do you think that it's fair? Are you okay with it? Doesn't really matter to you? Oh, and one more thing. In terms of the video that I put up just recently, speaking about everybody sharing their experiences, I do want to hear what everybody is making in their areas. It does It is helpful, and it's also inspiring. I know for me, it's inspiring to hear, oh, this person made $300 in one day. It's definitely inspiring. The whole point of what I was trying to say is that if you're going to leave that information, then tell me how you're doing it. So that way, like I said, so we can learn from each other. If you're working from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., then I want to know. If you've only worked 4 hours, then I want to know. If you work for 4 hours in your zone and then you work 4 hours in another zone, then I want to know. Just let me know, because the whole point of this, like I said in that video, is so that we can learn and bounce information off of one another. So you guys definitely stay cool, stay hydrated. Peace and elevation to you guys. I'll definitely see you guys in the next video. Don't forget to comment on this video. Let me know what's going on in your area. Definitely share. And for those of you who haven't subscribed already, you should definitely be subscribed to this channel, because I'm going to keep giving you videos back to back to back to back to back, calling it like I see it. So on that note, you guys, peace.